A Kevin Durant trade is looking imminent. He could be traded today, he could be traded tomorrow, he could be traded sometime next week, but it's no longer a matter of if, it is a matter of when. This is a guy who has been rumored since the trade deadline to potentially be on the move. Trade deadline, we saw the Golden State Warriors be really aggressive trying to get him. They obviously ended up with Jimmy Butler. We saw the Knicks throw some offers. We saw the Timberwolves, the Rockets, I believe, threw some offers. I think the Nuggets might have even thrown an offer. The Miami Heat. There are a lot of teams that want the services of Kevin Durant, and it makes sense. An elite scorer still. He is getting up there in age, but if you can get 2, maybe even 3 good years out of Kevin Durant, it's going to be well worth your while. In today's video, we're going to look at 5 potential Kevin Durant trades as posted by ESPN, not by a specific author, but by the NBA Insider team. We're going to look at 5 trades. We're going to assess them. We're going to talk about the fit. We're going to look at the package that goes to the Phoenix Suns or any of the other teams. And then, of course, I'm going to give you my favorite fit for Kevin Durant going into next year and what I think that package could look like. Before we dive in, make sure to like and subscribe. Go into the description to submit a video idea. And then let's look at 5 potential trades that Kevin Durant can be in the next couple of days. Starting off with the Houston Rockets, it's going to be Kevin Durant for Dillon Brooks, Reed Sheppard, Cam Whitmore, Jock Landale, the 2025 10th overall pick, and a first-round pick in 2027 that goes back to the Phoenix Suns. Starting off with the Houston Rockets, I think they are for sure a team that will look to add Kevin Durant. This is a team that I believe is just a main scoring piece away from being a championship contender. We saw how talented this team was last year defensively, how Amen Thompson stepped up into a whole new role. Fred VanVleet was a really solid facilitator for them. Sengun was a first-time All-Star, looked really good as a playmaking hub from the 5. And then there was this one kind of misplaced guy in Jalen Green where he had some really good moments during the regular season, but was also really hot and cold. Then we saw that in the playoffs as well, had one really solid game against the Golden State Warriors, but other than that, he was not good. So yeah, I think obviously this is a team that needs to look for that last piece to become a true championship contender. Jalen Green cannot be that. And when you look at this Houston Rockets team as well, this is a team that really struggled to shoot the 3-ball last year. Kevin Durant not only gives you a 1A scoring piece, but he's also an elite 3-point shooter, has been his whole career, and overall a perfect fit for the Houston Rockets. For the Phoenix Suns, I like the Rockets as a potential trade destination team for Kevin Durant, not only because I think they have a lot of really, really good young pieces. I mean, you can throw as many as you want in there. Not only do they have a lot of solid young pieces you can get back, but they do have your picks too from the Brooklyn Nets trade that you did to get Kevin Durant. Not only do they have the 10th overall pick in 2025, but we can also see a 2027 first-round pick going back to the Suns in this deal as well. The pieces, the specific pieces, players that they got back in this trade, starting with Dillon Brooks, I do think they're not going to love that Dillon Brooks contract, but it is to make the Kevin Durant money match, so I guess I do understand it. Reed Sheppard, the former 3rd overall pick, that's a really nice piece to add to your potential new young core of what we're trying to build here. Cam Whitmore, high scoring upside. He's a volume scorer. Not the greatest defender or playmaker, but maybe you could develop him into being a really solid bucket getter off the bench. Jock Landale, another one of those throw-in pieces. But overall, getting Reed Sheppard and Cam Whitmore as your 2 young pieces back in this deal, I don't hate. Maybe I would like to see a potential Jabari Smith in here. If not Jabari Smith, maybe Tari Eason. I do like Sheppard, I do like Cam Whitmore, but there's kind of 2 unproven guys at the NBA level. We saw nothing from Reed Sheppard this year, and Cam Whitmore, he has been very hot and cold in terms of what he's going to be able to give you on the court, or if he's even going to be on the court. So if I was the Suns, not only would I maybe want a more proven young piece, maybe that's a Jabari Smith, like I said before, a Tari Eason, you're probably not going to get an Amen Thompson, but I also would probably want to look to add a Fred VanVleet rather than a Dillon Brooks in this deal. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't happen, but Fred VanVleet would have to have the Rockets pick up his team option, and you would throw him in the deal instead of Dillon Brooks, a Suns team that really needs a point guard. I think Fred VanVleet would fit that amazingly. But again, not the end of the world. This is a really solid trade offer. Only would change a couple of things, but if this was the best deal on the board for the Phoenix Suns, you do this. And for the Rockets, I really like what you get out of this deal as well. Next up, we have the Miami Heat. It's going to be Kevin Durant to the Heat for Nikola Jovic, or the Suns, it's a 3-team trade. The Suns get Nikola Jovic, Andrew Wiggins, the Warriors 2025 pick, which I think is, 17 or 18? Or no, I think the Warriors is at 20. I think it's 20. The 2030 first-round pick from the Miami Heat, which I believe is unprotected, and the 2026 pick from the Lakers. The Nets get Duncan Robinson, a top 4 first-round swap in 2029, a 2031 first-round swap top 4 as well, 2031 second, and that is the better of Indiana and Miami. So I guess the Nets are just throwing in some first-round swaps for Duncan Robinson and Keyshawn Johnson, and they're getting swaps back. The Nets do make sense in terms as a third team to bring in to a 3-team deal, because this is a team that has cap space. They can take on a Duncan Robinson and Keyshawn Johnson, when the Suns probably don't want to take on a big contract in Duncan Robinson. The one thing that the Suns aren't looking to add this offseason is more big contracts. Bradley Beal put us in a deeper hole by himself. We don't want to add a Duncan Robinson or a Terry Rozier. Andrew Wiggins is bad enough as it is. But for this deal for the Suns, we're looking at mainly what the Suns get back for KD. Jovic, I'm kind of iffy on what he can be long-term for us as a team. It looked like he had a really high ceiling coming into the NBA. As of recently, though, not the best, to be honest. Andrew Wiggins, I'm going to be honest, probably not a long-term guy either. He had his years at Golden State, but was not great for the Miami Heat this year, was not good in the playoffs either. And then, of course, you get the 20th pick. You get a unprotected 2030 that is from the Miami Heat, which could be really sneaky good, depending on how the Miami Heat are in 2030. And then a 2026 second-round pick. Gonna be completely honest, this is an okay at best trade offer. I like the Rockets a lot better. I think the Heat do. I mean, Heat is tough because when you look at their team right now, or their main pieces right now, in Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, and Kevin Durant, do you really deep down in your heart believe that that team right there could be a championship team? That trio? Gonna be completely honest, I just don't see it. The Thunder are too talented. The Spurs are going to be too talented next year. The Celtics might not be as good because Jason Tatum's out, but that's still a pretty solid team around there. The Knicks are looking to add pieces. The Cavs are going to be right back. The Pacers are on the up and coming. I just don't know if those 3 players as your main 3 players with a pretty weak bench after that is going to win a championship. So honestly, if I'm the Suns, I like that Rockets deal better. And if I'm the Heat, I know it's a big market. They want to get those big names in there, so it makes sense in terms of that. But as a championship contending roster, I don't think getting Kevin Durant is going to put you over that edge. That's just my opinion. Next up, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think this is one of the biggest destinations for Kevin Durant. I think this is one of the ones that could potentially really happen. The Wolves get KD. The Suns get Rudy Gobert, Dante DiVincenzo, and Rob Dillingham. This is definitely interesting. I think if I'm the Phoenix Suns, I don't know what type of player I'm looking at when I'm getting a Rudy Gobert back and a Kevin Durant deal. Is this someone we're trying to keep and build around Devin Booker for the future? Or is this someone we're just waiting for that offer or waiting for that contract to expire and then build from there? Dante DiVincenzo is also in this deal, which I think is really good for the Phoenix Suns. A really good role player. Could be off the bench, could start even, give you 3-and-D. I like that a lot. And then Rob Dillingham, similar to the Reed Shepherd in that Rockets deal, just not a proven young player yet. I honestly think that Rob Dillingham has a better chance to succeed at the NBA level than Reed Shepherd does. That's just my opinion. But yeah, this is not the strongest offer from the Timberwolves. I think they could for sure figure out something a lot better. Honestly, if I'm the Phoenix Suns, if we're looking to make a Kevin Durant trade with the Timberwolves, I would rather a Julius Randle sign and trade than Rudy Gobert straight up. That's just my opinion. I don't love Rudy Gobert as a player. I think that he's very, very limited offensively, which is crazy because he had his whole career since 2014 or 2000? No, I think he's 2013. Since 2013, his 12 or 13 year career, he has not gotten better offensively, which is crazy to say, but you look at his on-court performance, it's honestly true. So if I'm the Phoenix Suns, I would probably rather a Julius Randle than Rudy Gobert, but DiVincenzo's cool, Rob Dillingham's cool, maybe I want a protected first, a first-round swap, something like that, because I think this deal is definitely a bit shallow. Even if adding Julius Randle does push the Kevin Durant trade back a couple of months, I guess maybe that could be one downside to the trade for the Phoenix Suns because they want to get this process going faster. But I like the Timberwolves as a destination. I don't love the specific trade for them, though. Next up, we have the Knicks. Are the Knicks really about to get Kevin Durant? This would be crazy. The Knicks get KD, and the Suns get OG and Mitchell Robinson. Honestly, looking at that first deal with the Houston Rockets, everything since has been kind of shallow. Just does not look great. OG Anunoby, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated players in the game, and Mitchell Robinson also gives you really good center upside. But for Kevin Durant, I'm going to be honest, I want more than just this. I think when you make a Kevin Durant trade for whoever it is, you can't look at how much time is left on that contract, because you had to think KD would sign an extension after a trade. But man, just getting OG and Mitchell Robinson is tough. But I guess, hey, part-time Knicks fan, I would love this deal right here. But I don't think the Knicks are too much in the running for Kevin Durant. I think the Knicks also had a lot of defensive issues last year. And I think trading Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby is going to make it even worse, because Kevin Durant, obviously not the defender he once was. Then when you have three guys honestly starting next year, and Brunson, KD, and Cat all being almost, I guess, KD's not a negative defender, but not being the greatest defenders, maybe we see even more defensive problems from next year. I don't love this trade for the Suns. I guess for the Knicks, when you have Kevin Durant and you're able to make this deal, maybe you do. But honestly, I think the Suns could for sure get a lot more than this. Next up, we have the San Antonio Spurs. The deal for the Spurs is Kevin Durant for Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, and the 14th overall pick. Comparing this to the Knicks deal, I guess it's a bit better than the Knicks deal, because first of all, Mitchell Robinson, I think he's expiring at this point after next season, so we have to talk about a contract extension with him. But when we look at the Spurs deal, I think Devin Vassell, while you might consider him slightly overpaid, I don't think his contract is that bad. He's going to be a really solid wing for you that can find his spot in the mid-range, can hit the open three, also has been getting a lot better of driving downhill. Spurs, one of the teams that I watched almost every single game of last season, just because how excited I was with Wemby, Chris Paul, Stephon Castle, the bunch of the guys they had over there. But for the package specifically, I think if you are the Spurs, I think this is an easy trade for you to make. We know that this team wants to get this process going a lot faster with Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox. And especially if you're not able to give up that second overall pick, Devin Vassell for Kevin Durant, honestly, we're really cool with making that trade. Even Harrison Barnes as well. And then the 14th overall pick, kind of just a throw-in, because we already have that second overall pick. Easy trade for the Spurs to do. Unfortunately for the Phoenix Suns, I think we look back at the Houston Rockets deal and that's the 10th overall pick in that deal. I would consider that just a little bit more. Next up, we have a wild card team. So I guess those were the last teams. Okay, so the wild card is the Dallas Mavericks. It's KD for Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Najee Marshall, Derek Lively, and a 2028 first-round pick. Completely honest right here, if this deal was offered to us, why would we even slightly consider a deal from the Knicks right here, or even from the Minnesota Timberwolves? In my opinion, the amount of depth we get back with this deal right here, still being able to win games with Devin Booker, honestly, I think this team right here for the Suns would be better than last year's team. I would 100% do this trade. Klay Thompson, really just to make the money work, kind of a throw-in type of guy. We're not planning to build around him too much for the future, but PJ Washington able to just stick at that small power forward position. Najee Marshall, a Swiss Army knife nickname, I believe his nickname is the Knife or something like that. Him at that small forward position, defense, three-point shooting, we like that a lot. And then Derek Lively, I like that a lot at that center position. This obviously for the Dallas Mavericks is win now, win now, win now. Cooper Flag, KD, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving. That is a really solid one. Well, I guess that's everything but the shooting guard. So I guess maybe Max Christie gets signed at that shooting guard, but that's a really solid core. Only thing for me though, we're trading 4 guys that get rotational minutes. That's something that's going to be really hard to build back up next year. And the 2028 first. This is too much if I'm the Dallas Mavericks. I think we're looking to contend right now. We just traded Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, and if we just made that win now type of trade, we're not trading 4 rotational pieces for 36-year-old Kevin Durant. That just does not make sense to me. So I think this Mavericks trade, not great, but overall the other deals, like from the Spurs, I think the Suns could for sure talk about that one. The Knicks I don't love too much. The Timberwolves don't love too much. The Heat I also think is not good enough, especially if we have this Rockets deal on the board right here. In my opinion, the number one team, I also think potential wildcard team for this trade could be the Denver Nuggets, built around Michael Porter Jr. I don't know, just throwing something out there. But in my opinion, the number one destination trade for Kevin Durant, Houston Rockets. I just think it makes the most sense. I think the Timberwolves could also be a really close second, but looking at the Rockets, what they need for next year, a go-to scorer, a guy that can spread the floor. Amen Thompson can still do what he needs to do. Şengün could still man the paint. We still have nice three-point shooters on the wings like Jabari Smith, a defense high motor guy in Tari Eason. Kevin Durant makes the most sense for the Houston Rockets. Now, if the Rockets are only willing to give this up and not maybe willing to switch out a Van Vliet for a Dillon Brooks type deal, maybe that doesn't happen. But I think the two main are the Rockets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I believe he'll go to one of those teams. And in my opinion, I think the Houston Rockets have the best package to end up getting Kevin Durant. So that's going to be it for the video. Those were 5 potential trades, hypothetical trades for Kevin Durant that can happen in the next couple of days. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. Go into the description to submit your video idea. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.